we can only grow into the size of the physical or emotional and psychological environment that we put ourselves in. There's a great story about the goldfish. When you put a goldfish in a bowl, it stays a certain size. You put it in a bigger bowl, it starts to expand and grow. You're like, where did this goldfish come from? It looks like a different goldfish. No, you just gave it a bigger container to fill up the space. And when we limit our emotional or psychological containers in our mind and our body around money, we limit our abilities to make money. When we expand these things and we expand our environment of who we're spending time with, where we're getting our knowledge and wisdom from, like watching your show and being a part of your newsletter, and we expand our thinking, our knowledge, we surround ourselves with wealthier-minded people. This doesn't always mean they have to be financially rich, but are they wealthy in their heart, their generosity, their kindness, their health, and their relationships? When we expand these parts of ourselves, we can start to see differently of how to unlock the level of financial abundance within us as well.
I like that. I want to go deeper into that, but before I do, really quickly, when you're now making this more money, you come into LA, were you investing your money anywhere, or was it just kind of putting it back into your business?
A lot of it was saving it, because I just wanted to see the bank account stack, because I was afraid early on. So I just wanted to save it. I think my first goal was I want to bring in $100,000 in 1 year. That was like goal number one, because I'd never, that seemed like impossible.
The golden six figure.
It seemed impossible to generate $100,000 in sales. Now I don't keep all that, but just to bring it in.
Yeah.
And I remember hitting that mark and I go, okay, can I do this again? And then I did it again. I go, okay, it wasn't as hard the second time. And I go, but $1 million seems like a far away.
Yeah.
I had a business partner at a time for these kind of like online courses we were creating together. And so again, this was a part of the business. And then we paid our salaries, we had expenses and taxes and all that stuff. But I remember us getting to the $1 million mark in a year, and I go, this is crazy. I broke through psychologically.
Yeah.
Like, is it possible to make $1 million in sales? Now, the challenging thing is my bank account didn't show that I was making that, right? It was like, I'm only paying myself, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 a month. You're paying taxes, you got to pay for expenses, all that stuff. So it's like, you got rent.
Yeah.
It goes away quickly. And so the goal was, how do I save to $100,000? And I remember doing that once. I didn't understand investing. I didn't know how to invest. I didn't know what to invest in. I didn't invest in stocks. What I did get early on was, I remember maxing out my IRA. I remember maxing out whole life insurance as well that had, savings and cash value in the whole life insurance. So every year I was maxing those out since I was 27. I was putting like $5,000 a year from IRA.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when I was 32, somewhere around there, I started to do the defined benefit plan and invest a lot more in that. So that is stacked up from that investment over the last 7 or 8 years of going all in and maxing out defined benefit plan, maxing out IRAs, maxing out 401k, all that stuff. But I didn't understand real estate. I didn't understand the stock market yet. Until about 8 years ago, I started to do more of that. So I started to invest in an index fund. And then probably 6 years ago, I started doing real estate funds, right? And then also investing, just every month putting away money for index funds. So I started to do that late 20s, early 30s more, and just started to say, okay, I've got the cash, now what do I do with it? But the first one was, how do I get $100,000 in cash? And then I realized this is just sitting here not doing anything for me. It's making me feel safer, but it's not growing for me. So I had to learn the hard way through years of just kind of saving and not doing as much as I could with it. But I was living in fear, man. I didn't want to go back to my sister's couch. I did not want that feeling. And man, it was a game changer. And then it was like, okay, how do I make $1 million? And then how do I get to $1 million net worth? Right? How do I get my assets to that much, my cash value in different investments up to that? And then it's just been how do I keep leveling this? That's been the journey.
If you enjoyed this short clip from my longer videos, here's another clip that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, if you're interested in learning more about how to start generating passive income, our team put together an amazing guide on how to start generating passive income for free. All you got to do is click that button right over there. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.